Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be reviewing the book The House of Dudley by Joanne Paul, and this tells the story of the rise and fall of the House of Dudley, who were prominent during the Tudor era. So you have Edmund Dudley, who was a collector, like a tax collector for Henry VII, and then you have his son John Dudley, who ruled for Henry who was prominent during the rule of Henry VIII, uh, Edward, and Mary. And then you have Robert Dudley, who was prominent during Elizabeth I's reign. And this is a really interesting book. It starts off during the reign of Henry VII, and then Edmund Dudley is working, collecting, money, dues from people, and he is really ambitious, and he commits. I still can't understand what he did, but he commits a financial crime, and he is executed. And then John Dudley, who's about 5 when his father dies, rises up in prominence and becomes the leader of the rebellion against Mary I to put Lady Jane Grey on the throne. He marries his son to Lady Jane Grey, and he is beheaded by Mary I. And then Robin Dudley, who is a friend of Elizabeth I and her contemporary and her friend, became her master of horse and possibly lover, but then due to infant mortality and a murder slash possibly suicide slash accident, um, he is embroiled in scandal for a little bit in 1590, 1590 no 1558 or 1559, because his wife dies, um, due to mysterious circumstances. It's one of the great mysteries of history. But his line does die out due to that. And then his second wife, who was Elizabeth I's cousin, Letitia Knowles, their baby dies, so his line dies out. And I found this book really, really interesting. The big thing that I found that was interesting is that the Dudleys were in places I didn't know they were. I didn't know John Dudley had risen as far as he had during all the stuff that was going on with Catherine of Aragon and with Anne Boleyn, and I didn't know he was that high yet in his in his in the court. So, that was interesting. I was like, oh, he was there doing stuff behind the scenes when it came to Anne Boleyn, and so that I found interesting. And it was great to understand Edmund Dudley because I didn't know too much about him. I'm still kind of confused why he was beheaded. Um, um, but they were a family of traitors. They were really ambitious, and they paid for it. The only thing that I have a problem with is that this book was kind of dry, and in the audio, the narrator wasn't as good as some other narrators that I've heard, because I did download this book a long time ago, like a few months ago, not a long time ago, but a few months ago, and yeah, so the narrator wasn't as good, so it did take me a long time to finish the book because the narrator wasn't as good as other ones that I've listened to. But overall, I really enjoyed this book. I've been kind of on a Tudor kick with my books, and that's just the way the ball bounced because I was excited for the book on Mary the First to come out, and that came out in May. And then I've had this book that I'm reviewing now, The House of Dudley. I've had that for a few months, and so I'm just now getting around to reading that. And I bought it and I need to read it. And then right now I'm listening to another audiobook that I got for free a few months ago. Same thing, free audiobooks on Audible about the temptation of Elizabeth Tudor and her and Thomas Seymour doing stuff. So um, it'll be a Tudor kick. And Joanne Paul does a really good video about the historical accuracies and how they're portrayed in movies about the Tudors. So you have series about the Tudors, or maybe it's movies and series. So scene from Wolf Hall's on there. The scene from the Tudors is on there, and she does a really good job. And I stumbled across it, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I have her book!" And so yeah, so it's that was exciting. So I will see you all in the next video. I'm not sure what that will be. Um, and I do have some spiritual books that were free on Audible. So I might read some of those after I finish The Temptation of Elizabeth. Maybe I'll take a break from the Tudors and read that, and then go back to books about the Tudors. So I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.